Stone Temple Pilots is one of my all-time favorite '90s bands, and hell, about 2 years ago, they were my absolute favorite '90s band. They have since been dethroned by Alice in Chains, but still, I really do love this band, and I really do like how different they really were compared to the other '90s grunge bands. They started off as a grunge band, and they progressed into like different kinds of genres. They didn't really stick to one kind of sound, and I really enjoyed that. Other people didn't really like how inconsistent their sound was from album to album, but I really did enjoy that, and nothing they did afterwards beat their first five albums. Those were fucking great. They came back in 2010, and it was their last album with their original frontman Scott Weiland, who unfortunately died from a drug overdose in very late 2015. And he was replaced by Chester Bennington back in 2013, and that didn't really go very well. I did not like the songs I made with Chester Bennington. And now this year, well, since Chester Bennington is also gone, unfortunately, well, shortly before Chester died, they did have a little contest for the fans, whoever wanted to join the band, whoever wanted to become the new frontman. You know, they had to put out videos auditioning. They had a few songs that they wanted you to sing, and you know it was really cool. It's not every day a band as big as them held a contest, and whoever won became the next frontman of that big band, a band as big as Stone Temple Pilots. And again, it was really fucking cool. Again, it's something that you don't really see other bands do, especially bands as big as them. And then a man by the name of Gut made the cut. And this past October, they released a single called Meadow. And I really enjoyed that song. It was a really good song. And just a few days ago, the album came out, and um, here I'm not gonna make a whole review of it, but here's what I think. It's mediocre at best. It's not really that good. And plus, here's another issue I have with it. It's simply just called Stone Temple Pilots. Now, I'm fine with like self-titled albums and all that, but they had an album called Stone Temple Pilots back in 2010. So whoever is like, oh, I like their self-titled album. Now people are gonna be like, oh, which one? I mean, it's fucking stupid having two albums with the same name, but whatever. Anyways, so when this album came out, though, a little bit before this album came out, though, some people were fucking furious. Some people were really mad because they're like, the Stone Temple Pilots is not Stone Temple Pilots without Scott Weiland. And yes, I agree. You know, no one's gonna fucking top him. No one is gonna be a better frontman than he was for this band, but you have to let go of the past. I mean, it made me so fucking angry looking at comments, looking at reviews that were made before the album even released that were like, oh, this album is gonna be trash because Scott Weiland is not singing. Okay, it's so fucking stupid. Don't judge an album because, you know, a different singer is singing on that album, okay? It's just fucking stupid to just write off an album just like that. The album could potentially be phenomenal, and this album was not phenomenal. It was very far from phenomenal, but still, there was that possibility that the album could have been really, really good. Maybe not as good as their earlier material, but still up there. Maybe really good, especially better than the Chester Bennington or the album or the other self-titled album from 2010. You know, it could have been great, but no, just because someone else is singing it, oh, that means it's automatically bad. This band cannot do anything else afterwards. And I want to ask you all a question, all of you people who are fucking complaining about this. Do you like an album called Back in Black? Now, I know probably one person is going to be like, oh, that album was garbage, but I'm sure most of you out there like that album. And guess what? The AC/DC at that time, their former frontman died, and they replaced him with a new frontman, and his name was Brian Johnson, and he sang for that album, and that album is almost unanimously liked, and is a prime example of a good comeback album and a good album with a new lead singer, with a new frontman of a band. AC/DC fucking killed it with that album. Now the same can't really be said for the ones that followed it, but the Back in Black was a fucking phenomenal album. This is coming from someone who much prefers the Bon Scott era of AC/DC. Anyway, moving on from that. So if you're one of those people who are like, oh, the band can't move on without the former frontman, and you like that album, you like Back in Black, you're a fucking hypocrite, and you may as well just burn your copy of Back in Black, okay? Because that album, again, is a prime example of a good comeback album and a good album with and a good first album with a new frontman. Now, look, if you didn't enjoy the album, fine. Like I said, I myself didn't really enjoy the album all that much, but I didn't. The reason I didn't enjoy it wasn't because there is a new frontman for the band. That is just a bullshit reason to just write off an album and say it's bad, because you really need to take off your rose-colored glasses and look objectively instead of dwelling on the past. Maybe if you don't dwell on the past so much, then maybe you'll see this album in a new light. Maybe the album will really click with you. I mean, in order to get into an album with a new frontman leading the band, you kind of do have to just pretend it's a new band and just look objectively. And if you drop the mindset of, oh, Stone Temple Pilots are not Stone Temple Pilots without Scott Weiland, then maybe, just maybe, this album will click with you. That's what I tried. I still didn't really enjoy it all that much, but hey, at least I looked objectively instead of just writing it off and saying it's bad. Especially before the album even released, too, because again, there were a bunch of people saying this album was going to be garbage just because of that before the album even released. And also, you have to take into account that music is a business. Stone Temple Pilots, the name, is recognized by many, many people, millions of people. And what are they going to do? Bring back Army of Anyone or Talk Show? You know, the bands that the three other members did on the side that are not recognized by nearly as many people? No, they're going to bring back Stone Temple Pilots because because the name is recognized by millions of people, not the bands they did on the side or anything that are just known by like hardcore STP fans. But of course they're going to bring back Stone Temple Pilots because that name has a lot of recognition. And of course, artists who do music just for the money are scummy and are untalented garbage, but still, people are also in music to make money, okay? Of course, it's also to express themselves, and they do it for the art and all that, but still, it's also about the money. I'm sorry, if you think some of your favorite artists just do music just for the art, just to make good music, you're lying to yourselves. A big reason why a lot of people like getting into music and create their own music is because they have aspirations of becoming huge. They want to be the next rock star. They want to be the next big pop star, what have you. Okay? And they want to make a living off of something they love doing. And the members of Stone Temple Pilots are making a living off of making music. They make money off this shit. And of course they're going to bring back the most popular band, the band they're in that was the most popular, because they want to make more money because they make a living doing this shit. So okay, does it make sense to you now? Does it all just click with you now? Oh, whatever. I know a lot of you people are not going to be swayed, and you're still going to be whining about a new frontman singing for the band because oh no, it's not Scott Weiland. Again, the man was incredibly talented, but he was also a big fucking junkie, okay? Again, no disrespect to the man. He was an incredibly talented singer, but towards the end, he did not sound good at all. Look at some of the concerts he did right before he died. He could barely fucking sing. He was completely monotone, and it sounded like he was fucking talking. They fired him back in 2012 because he was late to a lot of shows, and he messed up during a lot of the shows, and they couldn't deal with that anymore, and they had to just give him up and move on, basically. It's the unfortunate reality. I know you love to think that all of your favorite artists make music just for the art, just for their passion of music, and of course that is partly why they make music. But here's another unfortunate reality. If music was just for the art, if you could not become big off of music, if you couldn't make any money off of your music, then you probably wouldn't have any of your favorite artists because they probably would not have gotten into music or created music because they couldn't make any money and they couldn't become big off of their music. Because what the fuck is the point in making music if you can't become big or make money off of it? Anyways, yeah, that's just another unfortunate reality for you. So you can thank the almighty dollar for pretty much all of the artists, bands, whatever that you listen to. That's all I have to say. Bye bye.